love and light. How are you guys doing today? Today we're going to be talking about, yes, you guessed it, the water element. And by the time we finish this video, those who are too high or too low in this element, you're going to know, and those practices that we can do and why you really want to balance this element out. Yeah, so if I'm looking down, you're going to be seeing me looking at my notes. I just don't want to miss some of the notes that I took to give you guys all this juice about this beloved element. So as we know, water element is not ruled, but it's very connected to the feminine energy. And when we see water, like right now, if I were really close to it, I would be feeling, if it's cold or if it's hot, but usually it's cold. And when you're by the water, it's wet, right? It's flowing, it's in waves. So that's what we see on like the physical level. But there is also the spiritual level to water as well. And this is its emotions. Water is in motion, right? So water has a lot to do with our emotions and how we nurture ourselves, when you use the water, many of us, you get baptized, you're using it for purification and healing and cleansing. So those are some of the spiritual attributes of water. And then there is, in astrology as well, there are water signs. It's Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. And each one of these signs have their own characteristics that has a lot to do with water. Like Scorpio, let's start with Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon, and the moon, as we know, has cycles. And cycles, as woman, and the moon is also ruled by woman, because Cancer rules woman, it rules the breast, it rules the stomach. So, women, we have babies, and the babies go through cycles, same as the moon goes through cycles. So Cancers, or mothers, they're very nurturing, they're very caring, and these are traits of a Cancer sign. Traits of Pisces is very compassionate, very empathetic, very sensitive. All water signs, really. And then we have Scorpio. Scorpio is very deep, very, you could say, cold, with some of their ways of how they go about things, because it rules power, right? And women, we can be really powerful, very destructive. Scorpio rules, destruction, transformation, breaking things down. As we know, when we get angry, we can really also, that's like the extreme end to it, we can really burn things down, So that's the connection with astrology. And you would know that you're too high within the water element if you are a person who is really moody, okay? Those who get are overly sensitive. Someone says a joke, some of us who are overly sensitive, I can be, I'm a Pisces stellium, so I know at times I can be a little bit sensitive. But yeah, let me fix this back. Okay, yeah, so I know at times I can be a little sensitive. Being overly, like, emotionally manipulative, that's a sign of someone who is like too high within their water element. Also, addiction, or those who are really smothered, like really smothering you, like, because it also rules like the mother, because Cancer, you can be really nurturing, but sometimes when you're too nurturing, some of us can be like overly caring and always caring about the other person and always putting other people's feelings first. Those are going to be signs that you are too high in your water element. And not that these things are bad, Look at the birds, they over here singing a song that we don't know, but they out here singing. Yes. So it's not that these are bad signs, it's just that in life, the reason why you want to balance things out is because sometimes these traits can hinder us from our growth. Like, we may have not a bully, but maybe someone at work where we're always, or within our partnership, we're always giving, and when we sit with ourselves, we have those moments like, I really need to, ask for the things that I want, and maybe stop being so moody or emotionally manipulated, and maybe be more not aggressive but assertive in what I'm trying to come forth. So those little things can kind of hinder us from our next level, hinder us from those very moments within our relationship that keeps us going within the same cycles. Remember, I talked about how the water is ruled by cycles, and that's one thing about water elements, is that you want to kind of transform what no longer serves, because the water element can be very heavy, very stuck in the past, very stuck, and those are other traits. If you're a person that's stuck in the past all the time, very heavy with your emotions, you may need to bring balance to this, because those same things can maybe stop us from getting a promotion, stop us from getting to the next level in a relationship. Or sometimes you really know some of these things, they're hurting us. They be going through the same cycle. Like, how can I stop? What can I do to get rid of these patterns, get rid of these blockages? And that's what I'm going to be telling you by the end of this video. But I did want to touch on people who have this trait, the water element, but that is too low. So we touched on if it's too high, staying stuck in the past, even addictions, manipulating, especially with your emotions, being confused, like being kept staying still, kind of like lazy, stagnant energy, being overly sensitive and emotional. But if you have this energy that is too low, maybe you're a person who doesn't have like no spiritual practice at all. You don't really have to have a religion, or if you do have a religion, that's fine, but you can be a person who's not tuned into your water element. Your spiritual side is because you're not doing any type of spiritual practice, because spiritual practices can be anything. It could be whatever you believe in. If it's prayer, if it's going to a church, if it's writing out to your altar, or writing out to a deity that you believe in, or if it's, it could be many different things, and it's a practice. And the more you do these things, it kind of brings you back to like your spiritual self. We have the physical, we have like the material, we go to work, we have the physical, we work out, we getting up and going, but then there's that spiritual practice that we need as well. We going really deep within and really just checking in the inner. I don't even know how to explain it, but meditation is something that helps up with that. I wasn't going to say what we're going to do, because I want to finish with the low, those who are kind of low in their water element. You'll be one who has no spiritual practice, no spiritual ritual. Rituals are things that we do religiously, like religion. Religion can be your spiritual practice, but you kind of want to that. And then we have, maybe you're a person who holds on to your emotions too much. You don't really express your emotions because you feel like, hey, I want to be manly and macho, or you always kept that in the past, like maybe in growing up in your household, you didn't really, or your father maybe said, hey, you can't speak up, men can't be in their emotions, or maybe they just didn't give you that space, so now you are a person who's emotionally repressed. You don't believe in really expressing yourself. So that can be a person who's low within the water of their element, or someone who is sexually repressing themselves. That can be low manifestation, because sex has a lot to do with creative flow energy. And if you're repressing yourself, this is not the people who are going celibate with a purpose, but like the people who really just stopping themselves because they believe it's evil, because someone said so, or, you know, whatever reason why people really repress. Is, you know, the intention really matters. If you're stopping being celibate because that's your, you know, your outlook, that's a different story. But if you're really repressing yourself and this is what you're really truly desiring, that can be you. That's low in your water element. And how we can balance out this element, the most important part. And everything that I talk about here is has a lot to do with rituals. Create rituals. Rituals are consistent, so it's not something that you want to just do on one shot and boom, you expecting the results, and you're gonna feel the difference. These are things you kind of want to develop over time, and of course do your research before. And if it, as you do research, the next thing is always to implement. And once you implement, you can realize what works for you. Hey, this practice I tried didn't work for me. Boom. I'm not going to keep it within my routine. And then maybe you'll keep some of the practices sometimes, you know, when you get to it, because it really did affect you in a positive way. So everything I'm going to talk about, yeah. And routines are usually done. It takes 21 days to build a habit, but 90 days to build a lifestyle. And you want these things to kind of be lifestyles and not just like a quick social media challenge. These are really things that, especially, of course, you can yeah, if it's good, if it's something good, like one thing I'm going to talk about is meditation. If it's something that's good like that, you should consider keeping it in for a lifestyle. But some of these things can just be practices maybe when you feel like you reached a better level within your water element, then you can go on to other things. So I just wanted to touch on that. So with that being said, practices that we can develop are tapping into our creative energy, right? Because water has a lot to do with our creative flow, and just being yeah, just our creative flow, because water is very flowy, right? And women in our wombs, we're creating, so we're creators, even though all of us are creators, but yes, we're creating. So with water, you want to tap into your creativity. So maybe painting, maybe singing, maybe getting into an instrument, maybe playing music that, you know, that really speaks to you. So yeah, getting into your creative abilities, or maybe some talents or some hobbies, or your inner child used to get into when you were young, gymnastics, or whatever it is that we can tap into that gives us that creative flow, that we just get into that flow and not thinking it's just colors and it's just coming out, right? Because that's creative energy. So yeah, getting into that. And when we think of water, we think of getting into water. So really spending time by the water, like how I'm doing. When you have the time, you go to a moving body of water, like the river, like the ocean, and you sit there and you just let the water speak to you. Even get in, because I say, not say, but our hair, we have portals. Our bodies are portals. Our feet, you know, our soles of our feet have portals. So if you can get in there and dip your head in there, dip your soles of your feet in there, you'll really be, and depending on the words that you use, you can really be intentional with cleansing out what no longer serves. Remember, water is very cleansing. So as you go in the water, you can cleanse out and speak. I'm opening up my portals. Spirit, remove all things which no longer serve. Bring in new energy and bring forth new rebirth and new growth. And yeah, speak to the water. Speaking to water, speaking about cleansing, you can do the same. If you don't have the opportunity to get to an ocean or the river, you can have a bath. Put herbs in there. Always speak over your water. Whatever cleanse that you're doing, whatever herbs that whatever intention you're working on, speak to your water. Pray over your water. Or if you don't have time for a bath, you can get a stocking and you can add herbs in there, add your bath salt, hang the stocking over your shower head, and you take a shower like that. Or even if you have more time and you really feel like a chi, you can do your cold showers. Cold showers are awesome, especially for transformation, because anytime you take a cold shower, you feel like you feel your heart beating. It sets you in like a whole different vibration from when you were just like, it shocks you, you know, and that shock is like transforming your energy. And yeah, so cold showers are definitely awesome to take as well. And as far as just speaking over water, speak over your water. So before you drink your water, speak over it, send love to it. Because drinking water is how you can stay connected to the water element. Having your regular water intake, purified water, of course, from the spring, is ideal. From the glass container is even more ideal. And yeah, not tap water, y'all, because water is very how we get into our flow, and it's very, you know, when you're dehydrated, very dry, you know, it's very malnourishing. So water, very nourishing. That's how you can restore some of that element. So let's see what else I have on here. Yes, so we also have getting in tune with our deities, like Oluku. I don't know if I say his name right, but Olokun. Ham and Yemae are deities of the sea. So getting in tune with those deities can help you really to embody this energy. Yeah, embody this energy. I say also bringing what I like to do on full moons, new moon cycles, I bring a glass bowl of water, purified water in a glass bowl, and I let it sit outside. Some people let rainwater collect too. I heard that one too. But what I personally do is just bring, you know, fill it up my own spring water, let it sit outside over the moon, new moon or full moon energy overnight. So that ideally 8 hours, and 8 to 12 hours. And in the morning I put it in like another glass bottle, and this glass bottle I add it to my drinking water, I add it to my bath water when I'm taking my spiritual baths, I add it to my spiritual floor wash. So when I'm doing my floor washes with herbs, and I'll use some of that water because that moon water is tapped with that moon energy, and that moon energy is very like psychic, very intuitive, and very creative, and you know. So I like to have that water infused within certain practices that I do. And I like to put it in a little glass spray bottle, and I like to spray that water over me before I leave home, because also water or Cancer rules the home and also rules being protected, because the home keeps us protected. So speaking of protection or water energy, just bring that water just to keep ourselves protected from negative energy. And as you spray, it's always intentional. It's always important to speak over what you're doing, just to give it that intention. Because it's good just to do it, but when you're actually speaking over it, I realize like it's more, amplifies it just a little bit better. You know, words are power, so you want to be being mindful of that as much as you do these practices. And then there's the Qi Gong practice that also helps with your kidneys, and your kidneys have a lot to do with water, so you can do some Qi Gong practices. And there's yoga practices, because yoga opens up our hips, opens up our bodies so that we are more flexible. And the more flexible you are, the more fluid you are, and the more fluid you are, that's water. The more you're able to flow, the more freer you feel, and you know, you embody that sensual, creative energy that the water really is. And also, boom, 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 almost forgot, wear more stones that have to do with the water element, and that's usually the 3 chakras, higher chakras, upper chakras, but that's not always the case. You just want to look at the ones that have to do with, because the sacral chakra, it has a lot to do with Scorpio energy, and that's like your creative energy. So you can look at stones for the sacral chakra, the third eye, and definitely the crown chakra. So those stones that that have to do with that, those stones will help you out with embodying the water element for those who need healing. Yeah. Let's see if there's anything else that I missed. Yeah, I think that's about it. And just connecting to the moon energy, the moon cycles. So yeah, meditation is very good for connecting. Oh yes, I did want to speak about this too. So those who feel like they have psychic abilities, a lot of us, like I was speaking about earlier, like the earth, like we can see these things. These are jobs, these are how we accumulate money, we save money, our relationships, that's air, or we can kind of see that. We have our boo, we have our moms, we have our friends, and then with the last one will be fire. Fire you can't really like see, but that's just like your irregular energy, right? But it's like how we're aggressive and how we assert ourselves, because this is a very masculine look, and that's another point. It's a very masculine society that we're living in. We're not really in tune into our feminine or spiritual practices and being into our it's more like going to work, and that the masculine patriarchal society. So, and not only are we living in a patriarchal society, we also are, spirituality is not something that you really just know. You really have to feel it. It really has to, some people do have a knowing, but I feel like the more we don't like touch upon it, because it's not something you can't see, you kind of like shy away from it. Or sometimes like you'll watch videos like that and I'll tell you certain things that you can notice with this if you're a spiritual person or intuitive or this and that. All of us, we kind of are, but then certain aha moments will take place. But I'm just saying that to say that those who are spiritual, you should develop your spiritual energy, and you can do that by using tarot, because tarot, you can speak certain messages, ask spirit certain questions, and you can, the more you do it, the more you'll see certain answers come about, and that will help you tap into the messages, create a message through your intuition of what spirit is telling you to do, and that can help you believe. And it's a very beautiful practice. Astrology, astrology, but definitely tarot is definitely good for that. Or just developing, you can Google how to develop your spiritual energy, your psychic energy, your psychic abilities. So that's very important for those who are psychic. And those who are low in this energy, what you can do is develop a spiritual practice. So by doing something 90 days, like I was telling you guys, that's the real key here. Doing something 90 days, how you see changes. And what is going to come about when you do this thing in 90 days is the doubt. Is your energy being stuck in your comfort, being stuck at what you usually do? So pushing past those moments. Maybe some may do it for 7 days, 21 days, and then you realize pushing past those moments are really hard, because the old you is what is holding you back, because you're so used to doing those habits. To push through, you just gotta, in those moments that you don't really feel like doing it, you just gotta do it. Because how we get used to doing something, we do it every day. Just like how we know to brush our teeth, we know to take showers, we know to do certain things, because we've been doing it every day. And to get consistent, to be consistent in these practices, it's going to be hard at first. I'm saying this to say that you just need to be able to push through It's not going to be easy, but nothing good in life is ever comes easy. I'm just being honest. But yeah, those who are low, just try to develop a spiritual practice. Maybe try volunteering. This can help with being more compassionate. And balance out your other elements by watching my other videos and the videos I'm going to be posting tomorrow. So stay in tune for those who are trying to balance out the earth, the air, their fire elements. I hope I was able to get everything I needed to get, and also, most importantly, help out the collective with helping them out with the water element. But yeah, I hope you guys were able to get something from this, and if you have a chance, drink some water. Get some water, and yeah, we're fluid, we're creative beings. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your days. Peace.